What's up? What's up? What's up, Facebook fam? It is Tuesday, and you know what goes down here on Tuesday. Wife Chat goes down here on Tuesday. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure that you put in the chat where you're joining me from. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I appreciate it. Again, I hope you guys are off. Your week is off to a great start. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Wife Chat. Thank you. Make sure that you drop in the chat where you guys are. Make sure you're dropping on the chat where you guys are from. Please. This tab is using, yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I got a notice from StreamYard, so I just want to make sure. Good evening. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. I appreciate you joining me from Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, Paulette. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for popping in, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys so much for joining me here on Wife Chat. Actually, this chat comes from a wife in Houston, Texas. So I notified her that I would be answering her questions. So my prayer is that you guys are. She's joining me from Houston, Texas, because let me just tell you, I'm a Texas girl. I'm from San Antonio. So again, you guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I truly appreciate you. Make sure that you're hitting the share button, letting all my 160 wives know the wife chat is going down. A few things before I get to the question, what to do when my husband hurts my feelings, right? I'm going to answer that question today. What to do when my husband hurts my feelings. But before I get there, I had posted on yesterday. I'm doing a workshop for wives on the 13th of this month, November the 13th, from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called On the Brink. And it is going to really cover on the brink, the five, the process that I went through to save my marriage twice, right? Because Gil and I have been on the brink. You guys know my story or whatever. And if you're on the brink, if you are just fed up, if you don't know what to do when it comes to your marriage, I would really suggest that you join me on the 13th of this month. And it's only 2.5 hours, but I'm going to not give you no fluff. I am going to give you some really good tools and strategies that got me and Gil off the brink. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me. So if you want more information about On the Brink, please go to my page. It's there. The link is there. If not, you can visit my website and just go under attend, and it's there, and register. It's only $20. And I just want to see you guys win. And so it's called On the Brink. I only have space for 30 wives, and I have not sent it out to my email list because literally I have been inundated by wives that are just like, Gail, I don't know if I can continue to do this or whatever. And so, I lay before God every single morning at 4 a.m. and intercede for, pray and intercede for marriages. And so he gave me to do that workshop. So I'm going to get it done. And it's a quick turnaround. So it's on the 13th. So if you're on the brink or you're frustrated and you don't know what to do when it comes to your marriage, or you're teetering, I would just ask you to join me on the 13th call On the Brink. And I'm going to give you concrete tools and strategies, right, that I use to come off the brink. Okay. And so again, you can find it on both of my pages. And if you still can't find it, all you need to do is go to gailcrowder.com and click on the link. Okay. Hello, Wakila. How are you? How you doing, baby? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys so much. And again, this white chat comes from a beautiful wife in Houston, and she says, what do I do when my husband hurts my feelings, right? And as you guys know, we're human, and I know for a fact I have hurt Gil's feelings, and I know for a fact he has hurt my feelings. And a lot of times when hurt feelings are happening in a marriage, right, I would say 90% of the time when Gil has hurt my feelings, He didn't even realize that he hurt my feelings. Hello, you guys. Hello from North Carolina. How are you doing? How are you doing? I want to say your name, Tashina. I want to say, I hope I said that right. I know your last name is England. Hello from North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad you're doing great, Wakila. Again, you guys, thank you so much. And for my people who are watching me from a YouTube channel, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And so at the end of the day, we have hurt each other's feelings, especially in my marriage after being married for 33 years. But at the end of the day, 90% of the time when Gail has hurt my feelings, he had no clue that he hurt my feelings. He really didn't, right? But women and men process information different, and we're a little bit more sensitive than they are. But let me give this wife and whoever, and if you've been married any length of time, your husband has hurt your feelings, and you probably have said something or done something to hurt his feelings, right? But let me just give you some tools and strategies that that has worked over the 18 years that I have been counseling, couples. And sometimes it's just a matter of just being being aware, right? Because sometimes people are not even aware. Like I said something to one of my really good sister friends the other day, and I had said this to her a couple of times in the past, but she brought it to my attention that I hurt her feelings. And I'm like, really? I said, because I've said that to you in the past. And it could be just when at that moment in time, you're just more sensitive because you might have some other things going on in your life. So it could just be that thing as well. But for her to write into me, it must be something consistent, and it must be something that's bothering her. So number one is you might want to raise your sensitivity level, right? We as women can be very, very sensitive, and it could be that we're more sensitive sometimes when we're around, when we're on our cycles. It could be we're more sensitive when we're under a lot of pressure or stress when it comes to work, our children, dealing with, family members or whatever. And I remember that Gail said something to me so simple when I was dealing with my mom when, she first got sick before she passed away. And it was something really, really simple, but I like literally flipped out and I said, you hurt my feelings. And he was like, really? I did? And I was like, yeah. So it when it comes to dealing with women and hurt feelings, a lot of times we need to look at the whole situation and look at the whole picture. So you might want to raise your sensitivity level. And the reason why I say that is because what your spouse is saying might not really be hurtful, but at the moment and the time that it's happening, if you have other things going on, and if you have some hormonal things going on like menopause, your cycle, all of those different kind of things, you could be more sensitive than normal. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you want to ask yourself, did I misread this insult, right? Ask yourself, did he really mean it the way he delivered it, right? And don't get me wrong, some men can be mean and nasty and mean what they say, right? But not all the time. Not all the time, because most of the time when Gail hurts my feelings, he's not trying to be mean and nasty. He's just being truthful, and I'm not wanting to hear the truth, right? So did I misread the insult, right? And did he really mean it the way he delivered it? Ask yourself that question. Because again, sometimes we're just not prepared to hear the truth. And the truth hurts, especially when we want a different result or a different reaction from our spouses than they give us. And I deal with that a lot because I am a very outward thinker, a forward thinker, I think outside of the box kind of a girl. I get excited about some of the stuff that Gil thinks is the stupidest things, right? And sometimes he's like, gee, I wouldn't do that because that's dumb. And I'm like, excuse me? And it hurts my feelings, right? And he's like, me telling you that is dumb, that is not well thought out or whatever. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm just telling you, don't waste your time, don't waste your resources. But it's the way he delivered that, right? And when I do sit back and I get out of my feelings and I realize it was dumb and I was going to waste my money, but it's the way he delivered it, right? And so ask yourself that question. Number 3, consider the circumstances. Consider the circumstances on how he delivered that information. Did he speak out of pain? Did he speak out of anger? Or did he speak out of hurt? Right? Because sometimes when they hurt our feelings, we have already delivered the blow and hurt their feelings. They just handle it totally different. And I call that hitting below the belt. So sometimes I have already delivered the blow. And when Gil delivers the blow back to me, then I'm saying he hurt my feelings. He didn't care about what I have to say and all those different kind of things. But when I was delivering the blow, I could care less about his feelings. So the question is, consider the circumstances. Did he speak out of pain? Did he speak out of anger? Or basically, is what he's saying the truth? Number 4, tell him how you feel. Tell him how what he just said to you made you feel. Because again, a lot of times men are not as sensitive as we are. And a lot of times they don't even know that they hurt our feelings. And if we just hold that in and we don't release it and we don't tell them how that makes us feel and why it made us feel that way, right? Just don't say you hurt my feelings and he's going to say how and why. And if you don't have an explanation, then it's just an open-ended conversation that never gets ended and you never get a resolve to it. Right. So when Gil was telling me, that was stupid and don't waste your resources. Right. And when I told him, I said, you hurt my feelings. And he asked me why. At first, I didn't have a reason why. But then when I sit back and thought about it, I said, it wasn't what you said. It was how you said it to me. You should have just said, gee, that's not well thought out. And you're going to end up losing money if you do X, Y, and Z. And he said, okay. He said, I'm sorry I delivered it that way. But at the time, that was just what came out of my mouth. But I didn't mean to make you feel like you were stupid or inadequate or whatever. But I did make you realize that it was not a well thought out plan, which was true. So consider, tell him how you feel. And if it continues, the last thing I always go to, and it should be the first thing, but I'm just being open and honest with you because I've dealt with this, and he's dealt with it as well, is go to God about it. Ask God, how do I handle a spouse that continues to hurt my feelings? Because let me just tell you, if you go to God about it, he is going to fight your battles. But when you go to God about it, don't go to God and then try to fix it yourself. When you go to God about it, release it, let it go, and let God fight your battle. Because let me tell you, if you allow him to fight it, you're going to win all the time. And it's been times when Gil has said something or hurt my feelings, and I heard the Spirit say, be quiet. And it might take 1 day, it might take 2 days, and it might take 3 days. Then Gil will come back to me and he'll say, gee, I'm sorry what I said to you because I thought about it and what I said to you was jacked up. But I had gave that situation to God because I know me with my mouth, and I've told you guys about my mouth being a lethal weapon, right? If I would have handled it, he would have got cussed out and I would have acted a fool. But when I say, God, you know where my heart was, that's not what, I didn't need to hear that at this moment in time, and I need for you to fix it. Those are the best apologies I could ever get when God takes care of it, right? not when Gail tries to take care of it and get him to apologize just so we can move forward. And so again, my prayer is that my wife from Houston sees this. And most of the time, a lot of people watch this replay or whatever. But if you're dealing with a spouse that continues to hurt your feelings, implement some of these things and really just put yourself in their shoes and say, is this person really trying to hurt me? Is what they're trying to say to me literally is something that I need to hear? It's just a delivery, and am I being so sensitive about what they have to say that I'm taking it the wrong way? Because a lot of times when you're dealing with men, they have no filter, and they don't look at you as being his wife and he got to word it a certain way and being meek. They're just going to deliver it, right? And that was part of my problem and part of my situation when I was, in my marriage, was I had no filter. My mouth was like a guy, and I would react and act a fool like a guy, right? And so at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are able to speak to one another, be truthful, open, and honest, but also be careful how we deliver information. But also be careful how you receive the information, and know that 90% of the time, your spouse is not even aware that they're hurting your feelings. And 90% of the time, they want to see you win, but they're just open and brutally honest. Hello, Andrea. How are you? I appreciate you guys for hopping on. And so again, my prayer is that it's helped someone, because I've been there. Like I said, I've been the receiver and I've been the deliverer of hurting my spouse's feelings. Again, I have two things that you guys going to hear me talk about. The first thing is On the Brink. It's happening November the 13th. So if you're on the brink, if you are struggling in your marriage, please join me for On the Brink. You can go to my website. You can register for it. I'm only allowing 30 wives in there because, again, I'm going to send out an email to whoever registers. So if you have a personal question you want to ask me, you can ask me anonymously. And the last 30 minutes of the class, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can, because I want to see you guys win. It's only a $20 investment. It's going to be done on Zoom. And like I said, I it's only 2.5 hours. And I'm going to give you tools and strategies to make sure that you win and make a firm decision when it comes to your marriage, because I understand what it is to me to be on the brink. I understand what it is to be ready to throw in the towel. But I had an amazing mentor, and she was like, Gail, is it worth walking away? Because it's hard out in these streets for these single women. Trust and believe me, because I get a chance to coach them as well. And a lot of times we just need to start looking at our marriages in a different vein or whatever. And so I'm not going to get on there and give you no fluff. I'm going to give you some good tools and strategies that you can apply in your marriage that day. Okay. So, hello, Mr. Perry. How are you? So again, thank you so much for joining me. So that's one. And then bringing sexy back to the marriage, right? I'm down to only 60 spots for my conference in January. And I just secured an amazing sponsor that's going to send us some stuff for our goodie bags. If you guys know me, I go all out for my conference. Y'all leave with some hot stuff that you can use, in your One Sexy Wife goodie bags. It's going to be hot. Like, seriously, it's going to be hot. Judge Lynn is going to come and talk to us about what divorce will cost you, and it's more than just money. I have some amazing teachers and speakers that are going to pour into you guys like never before. The early bird special is going to last up until Thanksgiving. So go ahead and get your tickets. Again, if COVID breaks out and all this kind of stuff, and I'm limited to 80 women, that's it. For the simple fact is, my conference is usually a lot bigger, but I want to make sure we're able to space out and have an amazing time. And so again, I love you guys to pieces. If you have a question that you want me to answer, you can remain anonymous. The only thing I ask is that you tell me where you're sending the question from. and I will make sure that I get you in a rotation and answer your question. I will always either inbox you or email you or whatever to let you know that I'm answering your question so you can join me. Again, I want to see you. If you're on the brink, if you're struggling in your marriage, please go and register. You can either click on the icon that's on my page, on either one of my pages, or you can go to gailcrowder.com, go under attend, and it's there, and you can register from right there. What's my website? It is, I'm going to put it in the chat right here, www. It's my name, Gail Crowder. Crowder.com. That's it right there. Okay. And so it's gailcrowder.com. And you can go there and just go under the attend button and you'll see it. It's called On the Brink. It's November the 13th. Okay. And I'm not going to keep you longer than 2.5 hours, but it's going to be intense. It's going to literally change your life, literally, because I'm going to give you the strategy that I used to come off the brink, because literally the first time Gil left my behind and the second time I was leaving his behind. And I'm not talking about just talking about it. I'm talking about papers. Like we already had papers. But again, God stepped in and changed that thing. And we've been married 33 years and we actually love and like each other. And so I understand what it is to be on the brink. You're welcome, sweetie. But again, I love you guys to pieces. So make sure that you, if you're on the brink, if you're struggling in your marriage, don't let this workshop go, because literally, you guys know I am up every single morning at 4 a.m. praying and interceding to see you guys win in your marriage. And you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to be suffering in silence, because I know what that feels like. That's the reason why I started doing the work that I was doing, because yes, I was a Christian, raising my hand, going to church, and then Gil and I would get in the car and not speak all the way home. I know what that looks like. And I decided that I was not going to stay silent because I wasn't getting the help that I needed at the church. I was too afraid and broke to go to counseling. So I just felt stuck. And I don't want you guys to be in that situation. That's the reason why I keep my prices for my counseling reasonable. I have to, pay for my education and stuff, but I want to see you guys win. Hello, Tori. How are you, beautiful lady? That's my Texas sister, honey. That's my Texas sister. But again, you guys, I want to see you win in every area of your life, right? I really do. And so if you're not on the brink, then I want to see you in January. I want to see you in January at Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage. It's going to be off the hook. And God always gives me a glimpse of what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's going to be off the chain. So again, I love you guys. Again, for on the November the 13th on the brink, I only have 30 spots there, and I have not sent it out to my email list. It'll be going out to my email list on Thursday. So make sure that you guys, if you're struggling, let me know. All right. I love you guys. Have an amazing night, and I will see you guys later.